Good afternoon. You're watching the midday news on Rajya Sabha television. My name is Aishwarya Kapoor and here are the headlines. Prime Minister spells out a four-point vision for achieving India's energy needs, underlines responsible energy pricing to serve interests of producers and consumers at the 16th International Energy Forum. Mega Defence Exhibition, a Defence Expo underway in Tamil Nadu. India showcases its defence export potential as over 50 countries and 700 exhibitors participate in the four-day event. Supreme Court rules the Chief Justice of India has constitutional authority to decide allocation of cases and setting up benches to hear them. Dismisses PIL seeking framing of guidelines for the same. Asian Development Bank projects India's economic growth at 7.3% this fiscal. Prediction of 7.6% growth in 2019-20. Uptake in projection over GST and banking reforms. And the 12th gold in India's kitty at the Commonwealth Games. Shooter Shreyasi Singh wins the women's double trap event. Overall medal tally at 24 with bronze for Om Mitharwal in 50-meter pistol and Ankur Mittal in men's double trap. Our top story this afternoon, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spelled out his four-point vision to achieving India's energy needs. Speaking after inaugurating the 16th International Energy Forum in Delhi, the Prime Minister, quoting a report, said that India will be a key driver in the energy sector in the next 25 years. He added that to meet those needs, India needs energy access, efficiency, sustainability and security. The Prime Minister also underlined that India's energy vision is to make sustainable energy affordable to the poor. The Prime Minister also spoke about the need for responsible pricing of energy to serve the mutual interests of both the producers and consumers. The focus of the three-day meet is that is generating the largest gathering of energy ministers in the world is the global energy security and transition. 72 member nations of the International Energy Forum and 20 special invitee countries are participating.
Last month, I came across an energy forecast prepared by an agency according to which India will be the key driver of global energy demand in the next 25 years. India's energy consumption will grow by 4.2% a year for the next 25 years. This is fastest among major world economies. The world has for too long, seen prices on a roller coaster. We need to move responsible pricing, which balances the interests of both the producer and consumer. We also need to move to transparent and flexible markets for both oil and gas. Only then can we serve the energy needs of humanity in an optimal manner. If the world has to grow as a whole, there has to be a mutually supportive relationship between producers and consumers. India also needs energy security. My vision for India's energy future has 4 pillars: energy access, energy efficiency, energy sustainability, and energy security. Energy in general and hydrocarbons in particular are an important part of my vision for India's future. India needs energy which is accessible and affordable to the poor. It needs efficiency in energy use. As a responsible global member of the Committee of Nations, India is committed to combating climate change, curbing emissions, and ensuring sustainable future.
India is hosting this important event after a gap of 22 years, during which much of the energy landscape has transformed. Today, India is the third largest energy consuming country in the world. It is also the third largest importer of crude, the fourth largest importer of LNG, and the fourth largest refiner. Our global engagement has considerably enhanced. Along with the chairmanship of IEA, we are also an associate member of country of the IEA and have started an institutional dialogue with OPEC. Energy has become a key element of our diplomatic engagement, both bilaterally and multilaterally.
With us for many decades to come, we must create an enabling and encouraging environment for investments all along the petroleum value chain, and to drive for the use of advanced technologies to minimize the carbon footprint of these proven fuels. Then, and only then, can we ensure we're concurrently advancing both the accessibility and sustainability of energy use.
And as Saudi Aramco, the world's largest oil producer, will buy 50% stake in the planned $44 billion oil refinery in Maharashtra. A memorandum of understanding to this effect was signed on the sidelines of the International Energy Forum conference in Delhi. Saudi Oil Minister Khalid Al Falih said that India is a priority destination for Saudi investment, and Aramco will continue to scout for opportunities beyond the West Coast refinery. Saudi Arabia will support half of the 60 million ton capacity state-owned IOC, BPCL and HPCL will hold the remaining 50% stake in the project. All right, let's get all the details. Kriti Mishra is now joining us live from New Delhi. Kriti, India needs energy that is accessible and affordable to the poor. Now, Prime Minister Modi has been stressing it for a while. And today also, he highlighted the same as he spelled out his vision for achieving India's energy needs.
Well, Aishwarya, remember, India pipped Japan to become the third largest oil consumer in the world. India's oil consumption is expected to grow at the fastest pace till the year 2035 among all the major economies. A study also pointed out that the demand for crude oil in India will grow by 5% till the year 2020. Well, India has been pushing the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries for reasonable and responsible pricing to support developing economies. And India is trying to leverage its economy, or rather the market size, for better bargains of oil. So certainly Prime Minister Narendra Modi making a very important point here, saying that India needs affordable and accessible energy. He also pointed out that any attempt to distort prices would be self-destructing. He also said that India believes in market-linked and integrated approach for energy policy. And he also outlined his vision, saying that there were 4 pillars for energy security in India, that is access, efficiency, sustainability, and of course energy security. Remember, the IEF has 72 countries and more than 20 countries were also invited. So in the presence of 92 countries, certainly a very important message from Prime Minister Narendra Modi about India's energy security. Aishwarya?
Absolutely. And Kriti, Prime Minister Modi also made a very key observation that, the consumption of energy nowadays has shifted to non-OECD countries, and that India will be a key driver of the energy demand in the next 2 to 5 years.
Well, certainly, Aishwarya, India would be the key driver of energy demand. As I pointed out earlier, that the oil demand, the crude oil demand in India is expected to rise by 5% till the year 2020. And a study has also pointed out that the demand for oil in India would be that would grow at the fastest pace till 2035 in India. So certainly, Prime Minister Narendra Modi making a very important point here, and also to negotiate better bargains from the other oil-producing countries. Aishwarya?
Absolutely. PM Modi calling for responsible pricing to ensure affordable energy for all. Thank you so much, Kriti, for all those updates there. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with over 100 Mudra beneficiaries from across the country at a function in New Delhi today. The Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana has been one of the flagship initiatives of the government to promote entrepreneurship spirit among the youth by providing easy loans without guarantees. The scheme was launched on 8th of April 2015 to promote and ensure access of financial facilities to non-corporate small business sector. Now, under the scheme, all loans up to 10 lakh rupees for income-generating activities will be extended as Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana loans. On to some other news. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has refuted reports of a bias or mandate in the terms of reference of the 15th Finance Commission. Finance Minister said that nothing in the Finance Commission's terms of reference can be construed as a discriminatory against states that have made good progress in population control. Jaitley was responding to the concerns expressed by the finance ministers of Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Puducherry. Finance ministers of these states said that terms of reference was against the principles of federalism enshrined in the constitution and would also result in revenue loss to the performing states. Jaitley said that although the 14th Finance Commission had no specific mandate for using 2011 census, it has rightly used the population data to capture the demographic changes since 1971 to make a realistic assessment of the needs of the states. And India's mega defence exhibition, the DEF Expo 2018, has begun near Chennai. The event underscores India's first serious attempt to project itself as a major military manufacturer. The 4-day biennial event will be formally inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday. The main theme of this expo is to showcase India as a major hub of defence production in the world. It will help brand India as an exporter of defence systems and components. While showcasing strengths of India's substantial public sector, it will also uncover the country's growing private industry and spreading MSME base for the subcomponents and subsystems. As a special feature of the expo, there will be live demonstrations of naval, air and land systems. These would include performances by Tejas light combat aircrafts, light utility helicopters, as well as Arjun tanks.
It's just going to help us think better, be more focused, and come up with specifics with which government can facilitate this whole initiative of wanting India to become a defense manufacturing hub. From the point of view of buying and contracting newer customers from abroad, make it easy. So the government can play a very, very important and effective catalyst. But of course, it's for those research and development organizations within the government and also for those in private sector to come together to make sure that that is achievable. And we don't need too many years for it. I think we've spent a lot of time in India working and working, but very much inward. Now it's the time for us to open up and look outwards, both for the market and also for technologies which you might want for that critical difference.
All right, my colleague Kriti Mishra is now joining us live from Chennai. Kriti, government has been, paying keen attention to the military modernization program. And so how will this event really boost that government's efforts?
Yeah, sure. As far as the defense modernization plan is concerned, this expo is looking very much crucial for this strategy for the government, because making India a defense manufacturing hub is the theme of this expo, which is going to be here for the 4 days in the outskirts of Chennai. So many companies from many different countries, including Russia, France and Britain, US and many other countries are here, and they are depicting their products for the Indian market. And also, as the FDI is permitted 49% in defense sector, and the government is very much focusing on the Make in India project. Yes. So many companies are here which are contributing with Indian companies and making their products. We are just outside a company called Alpha, which is Bangalore based and which is in collaboration with Israel and making making some very crucial equipments, and also it's reversely exporting to Israel. So we can say that Israel, which is a very high-end defense manufacturing country, which is importing products from India, it's a very much crucial and in the for the defense sector. And as the Defense Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, who came here in this morning while inaugurating this expo, she said that India is now emerging as a defense manufacturing hub, and the Make in India policy is now very much contributing in this. And we are expecting that tomorrow Prime Minister will also come here to officially inaugurate this this function. And he may give a very much different address for this defense manufacturing policy, which is government is now production policies taking in very little span of time. So it's a very crucial and very important defense expo which is going on in Chennai, and very much crucial for this market.
All right, Panchanan. So India has been the largest importer of military platforms as well as weapons, and now the attempt is to transform India into a hub of military manufacturing. Thank you so much, Panchanan, for all those updates there from Chennai. And with this, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Welcome back after the break. The Asian Development Bank has projected India's economic growth to pick up to 7.3% this fiscal and 7.6% in 2019-20. The projection is with the increased productivity post-GST and investment revival due to banking reforms. The ADB's growth projection of 7.3% this fiscal is in line with that of rating agency Fitch, but a bit lower than RBI's forecast of 7.4%. In its Asian Development Outlook 2018, the bank said that the growth will pick up as the new tax regime improves productivity and as the banking reforms and corporate deleveraging takes place to reverse a downtrend in investment. Now, according to the projection, growth is expected to pick up further to 7.6% in FY 2019 as efforts to strengthen the banking system and continued corporate deleveraging are likely to bolster private investment as well.
Rebounding from temporary reform-related setbacks and India emerging back as the fastest-growing large economy in the world. 2018 and 19 should consolidate these gains. We have a closer look at India later, but forecast is 7.3% this year and to 7.6% in 2019. So it's fastest growing across Asia.
On to the other big story. The Supreme Court has ruled that the Chief Justice of India is the first among equals and has the constitutional authority to decide allocation of cases and setting up of benches to hear them. A bench comprising Chief Justice Kriti Mishra and Justices A.M. Khanvikar and D.Y. Chandrachud said this while dismissing a PIL seeking a framing of guidelines for rational and transparent allocation of cases and the constitution of benches to hear them. Justice Chandrachud wrote the judgment for the bench. The order stated that since the CJI is a high constitutional functionary, there cannot be any distrust about the responsibilities he discharges to ensure that the Supreme Court carries out the work required under the Constitution. The PIL was filed in the backdrop of the 12th of January press conference held by 4 senior-most apex court judges. The judges had alleged improper allocation of the cases by the CJI. Big story coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where a civilian and an army jawan were killed and 2 security force personnel were also injured during an ongoing gun battle in South Kashmir's Kulgam district. Mobile internet services have been suspended in South Kashmir in wake of the encounter that is presently underway between terrorists and security forces. As per officials, security forces launched a cordon search operation in the district last night following the information about the presence of militants there. And during early hours, a gun battle broke out between militants and the security forces. As a precautionary measure, train services on Srinagar-Banihal route have also been suspended. 6 additional companies of the Central Reserve Police Force have also been moved to the encounter site, where 2 or 3 terrorists have been trapped. And with a view to bridge differences on crucial issues of NSG, India and China have begun talks on nuclear proliferation issues afresh. A meeting of senior officials of foreign ministries of both the countries took place in Beijing on Tuesday. The meeting was conducted under the mechanism of the India-China Disarmament and Non-Proliferation Dialogue. Indian officials put forth the country's credential in nuclear non-proliferation to the Chinese side. The delegations exchanged views on various topics of mutual interest, including the developments related to disarmament and non-proliferation at multilateral forums, as well as nuclear issues, role of science and technology in the context of international security and disarmament, as well as outer space. This was the 5th round of talks on this crucial issue. All the international news now. In the aftermath of alleged chemical weapons attack in Syria, Russia and the US are tangled at the United Nations Security Council as they block attempts by each other to set up international investigations into the incident. Russia on Tuesday vetoed a US-drafted UN Security Council resolution that would have created a new inquiry to ascertain the blame for chemical weapons attack in Syria. A previous investigation had ended in November after Russia used its veto to stop it being renewed. Now, 12 council members voted in favor, while Bolivia joined Russia in voting no and China abstained. A resolution needs 9 votes in favor and no vetoes by Russia, China, France, Britain or the US to pass. Now, the US said the resolution was the bare minimum that the council can do to respond to the deadly alleged poison gas attack in Syria. Russia countered that the resolution could be a prelude to a Western strike on Syria. Now, the US resolution was followed by a rival Russian bid to create a new inquiry into the chemical weapons attack in Syria, and that too failed at the UNSC on Tuesday after the draft resolution only received 6 votes in favor. Reports say that at least 60 people were killed and more than 1,000 others were injured in Saturday's suspected chemical weapons attack in the town of Doma. Doctors and witnesses have said that the victims showed the symptoms of poisoning, possibly by a nerve agent, and reported smell of chlorine gas as well.
Russia's resolution gives Russia itself the chance to choose the investigators and then to assess the outcome. There is nothing independent about that. The United States is not asking to choose the investigators, and neither should Russia. The United States is not asking to review the findings of any investigation before they are final, and neither should Russia. All of us say we want an independent investigation. Our resolution achieves that goal. Russia's does not.
Вы сами говорили неоднократно об этом, о том, что если Совет не примет решение, вы сами будете принимать решение. Зачем вы целенаправленно подрываете авторитет Совета, выдвигая заведомо непроходную резолюцию?
Meanwhile, the US and other Western powers are considering taking military action over Saturday's attack in Syria. US President Donald Trump has cancelled his first official trip to Latin America to focus on the issue of a suspected chemical attack in Syria. The White House said that Donald Trump will remain in Washington to oversee the American response to Syria. Meanwhile, the global chemical weapons watchdog has also said that it will send a fact-finding team to the site in Duma. The Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons said that a team would be deployed to Syria shortly. And in the wake of alleged misuse of user data on Facebook, its CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, on Tuesday appeared before the US Congress. Zuckerberg testified before two Senate panels, the Commerce and Judiciary Committees, meeting in joint session with 44 senators. During the hearing, the Facebook CEO formally apologized to Congress for the mistakes that led to the Cambridge Analytica scandal, saying that he was sorry for a series of missteps that he acknowledges have imperiled the privacy of tens of millions of its users. He said, "I started Facebook and I run it. I take full responsibility as the CEO of Facebook." He further stressed that his company is rethinking its responsibility to users and society. During the 5-hour hearing, he fielded questions on Facebook's data collection practices, the company's alleged monopoly power, and his views on regulating internet companies.
One of the steps that we need to take now is go do a full audit of all of Cambridge Analytica's systems to understand what they're doing, whether they still have any data, to make sure that they remove all the data. If they don't, we're going to take legal action against them to do so. That audit, we have temporarily ceded that in order to let the UK government complete their government investigation first, because of course a government investigation takes precedence over a company doing that. But we are committed to completing this full audit and getting to the bottom of what's going on here.
And now all the news from the Commonwealth Games, and India's gold tally at the Games has now risen to 12. Shooter Shreyasi Singh won the gold for India in the women's doubles trap event. Ankur Mittal bagged the bronze medal in the men's double trap event, helping India's tally to 24 medals overall. The first medal of the 7th day of the Games was a bronze by shooter Om Mitharwal, who won in the men's 50-meter pistol event. However, Jeetu Rai was eliminated after he finished 8th in the 50 meters pistol men's final. Also, Rajya Sabha MP MC Mary Kom has ensured a silver medal in the women's 48 kg category. She entered the final of the women's 48 kg category after she defeated Sri Lankan opponent Anushka Kudithuwaku 5-0 in the semi-finals. And that elusive Commonwealth gold is now just one bout away for Mary Kom in this category. And this is the Commonwealth medals tally as of now. India have 24 medals overall. That's all in this edition of Midday News. Thanks for watching.